One of the most common questions I get asked is how exactly do I keep my Sailfins? And today I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. What's up guys, it's John with Jay's Arboreals, and I'm assuming you're watching this video because you're either interested in buying a Sailfin or you just don't know the proper caging requirements that you keep anywhere from a baby to an adult. And so today I'm going to show you exactly how I personally keep them. You don't have to keep them this way, but I just want to set a basis of how big the enclosure should be and kind of how I have mine set up. So behind me I have a 6x4x4. It actually has no floor. I use rubber mats, and that's because you got to keep them at such a high humidity. It's very easy to rot out the bottom of the floor. But what I will say is if you have a floor, I would highly suggest using the rollout pond liner and putting that on the bottom of the floor. But what I've done is basically just framed up a box with plywood. I think it's 3/4 inch thick. Everything is coated with plastic coat and then painted over with dry lock. And then you can just see that I just have I just put a door on hinges right here. So I've got a level that's a little bit lower right here, and this is where I keep their food. This is also where I keep their water bin. And then it runs straight down the middle of the cage. And this allows them to have maximum floor space for them to nest, breed. Also, I just like having this platform because I don't have to bend over to grab their water and their food, and it's just so much, it looks cool and it's nice. I have different levels. They can get really fat, and if you keep it like this, they just really enjoy it because they love just to get flat, pancake out, and bask. As you can see, the male and female are up there. And then I like to keep branches in here because obviously they're arboreal animals and they love that type of stuff. I've got their UVB light probably around 8 to 10, 12 inches or so below, and they love to get right there. They usually heat up in the morning and then they sit right here. And I love to feed them first thing in the morning because they will heat up and they go right down to the bottom. Feeding and care, that's a total different video. I'm just going to show you exactly how I'm keeping mine. So I put their nesting bin at the bottom, and I have a log that they can go up and down on. So yeah, this is how I keep the adults. The babies are a little bit different, so I'll show you over here how I keep them. The bins. Well, some of you guys are probably cringing. Others are saying this is exactly how I keep my snakes and my lizards, and it's so easy to deal with. And I can definitely agree with that. While keeping them in custom enclosures, I highly encourage, if you're keeping this as like a pet, then guys, just do it. I think it's cool. I've seen some really cool enclosures out there. I've done it myself. But if you're keeping a bunch of babies, it's just hard to maintain that type of caging. So I just personally use bins, and it is so much cheaper as well. They're going to grow extremely fast. So if you set up this elaborate custom cage, enjoy it for about 6 months to maybe possibly a year, depending on how big it is, because you're going to be moving right up to an adult cage very soon. Or you can build like a medium-sized enclosure, which you might can see a little bit over here. I won't really go into detail about that, just because you can do different things like cattle troughs. That's what I highly encourage if you have a sub-adult and you can't build a big cage yet. So talk about the bins a little bit. I basically just keep a water bowl in here, like 1 or 2 sticks and some cork flats. And then I just have little stainless steel pails to feed them in. Also, I have the top is custom made just because it's easy to get the water in and out and their food in and out and misting and just the daily maintenance. I actually use a vacuum, and every other day I just go in here, spray it down really well, and vacuum all the excess water out. Also, just keep the lights above, of course. And then I have this rack because I can hang the 4-foot long UVBs on. And it's, guys, I mean, this is just so easy. It's so cheap, and I highly encourage it. If you don't have a budget to make a custom cage, and you just don't want to maintain it that much. So hopefully you guys learned something today, or made it a whole lot easier to maybe step into buying a Sailfin, or either you're getting yourself in and you're transitioning them into a cage. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I will be bringing some new videos in the future.